This is how to set up a bar to practice your deadlifting. So I would highly recommend you learn how to deadlift using kettlebells. I have another video on that, so go watch that, go practice with the kettlebell, and then you can move on to the bar. So the bar on its own, if you have like a regular Olympic bar, is going to weigh 20 kilos. You're also going to want to add bumper plates to that to lift it a little bit further off the ground. So the bumper plates are like those big plates. You could put the plates on up here, but let's assume that that's going to be too heavy to take off after. So a couple options. One option is we take the bar off, so get underneath it, lift, oops, sorry microphone, and take it down to the floor. So now that my bar is on the floor, I can go grab my plates and I can just lift the bar up, slide the plates on this way, and that's totally fine. But you might find that's a little bit too hard for you, and that's totally fine because this is heavy. So I'm just going to take this off and I'll show you how I take it off while I'm here. So instead of trying to grab the plate and pull, which like you can, but sometimes a lot of people find it gets stuck, I like to push the whole plate with my hand. Try and show you on the video that my butt getting in the road. So I'm going to lift up the bar and I'm going to push it from all sides. Obviously make sure no one's standing there when you do that. Okay, the other option that's a little bit easier than getting the plates on and off that way is to have the rack set up nice and low. So I'm going to pick the bar up from the floor and I'm going to put it onto this nice low rack. So now, because the bar is off the ground, I can just slide my plates on each side. And that's a little bit easier. And then before I take the bar off and put it on the floor, what I'm going to grab are my clips. So in this gym, we use the plastic clips, which I prefer because they're much easier to use. So how you use them is you've got this clip, slide it all the way on with this bit open, and then once it's on, you're going to flick it, and then you'll hear a click. When you hear the click, that means it's going to stay on. To get it off, you're going to push on this red thing and then flick it with your thumb. Open it again. So slide it all the way on and flick. Oop. How embarrassing. Some gyms will have like the metal sliders. They kind of look like tongs. I hate them, but they look like massive tongs. And then, yeah, you use it the same way you would a pair of tongs. You squeeze the tongs, slide them on, and then they'll stay there all by themselves. They're also really hard to get off. Okay, now that I've set up my bar, let's say we're just starting with 30 kilos. In most gyms, this will be the lightest weight you can start out with bumper plates. I have seen on Instagram some gyms have like these big, like 2.5 kilo plates. Most gyms are not going to have those. In some gyms, you'll be lucky if you even have these. So let's say the smallest weight you can start at is 5 kilo on each side, plus the bar is 20, so 30 kilos. All right, we're going to deadlift it off the rack. So hands shoulder width apart, shoulders down and back. Make sure we stand. Oop, small step back. And then we're going to put it onto the ground to start. Normally, it's okay to just leave the bar with the rack when you're finished. Take the plates off for sure, but you can just leave the bar where you found it, and you don't have to like readjust where the height of the bar or anything, because you don't know what the next person's going to do with it. So as long as you just leave it set up nice and neatly in a way that makes sense, totally fine to leave it like that. Okay, let's do some actual deadlifting in another video.